My phone rang the exact moment I was about to take my wife's passport from her hand. We were at the private airport lounge in Lagos. Our bags were already checked. The staff were smiling too much. The glass doors showed our jet waiting outside like a white bird. My wife, Ruby Esther Thomas, looked up at me with that calm smile she always used when she wanted me to relax. "Gray," she said softly, "are you okay? You're holding my passport like it weighs a ton." I forced a laugh. "I'm fine." Then I saw the caller name, and my throat went dry. The screen said, "George Thomas, my younger brother, the brother who died." Ruby's smile stayed on her face, but her eyes moved to my phone. Just for a second, like she knew. I answered with a hand that did not feel like mine. "Hello?" I whispered. A voice came through, low and steady. "Anna Gray, do not get on that jet. Not with her." My heart slammed inside my chest. Ruby leaned closer. "Who is it?" she asked, and still smiling. I could not speak. The voice on the line continued, slow like it wanted every word to hurt. "If you travel with Ruby today, you will finally learn the truth about your marriage." And then the line went quiet. Let me take you back, because that call did not start at the airport. It started long before that, in Lagos. In small moments I ignored because I wanted peace. My name is Gray Thomas. People in Lagos call me chairman when they want something. They call me boss, even when they do not know me. They call me billionaire in whispers like money is magic. I own shipping businesses. I own warehouses. I own tech companies that move goods across Nigeria. I also own secrets. When you have money in Lagos, people watch you like a movie. They wait for you to slip. They wait for your family to fight. They wait for your wife to misstep. So I built a quiet life. I stayed careful. I stayed guarded. Then I married Ruby. Ruby Esther Thomas walked into my life 3 years ago and made silence feel safe again. She was not loud. She did not chase attention. She did not post our life online. She spoke well. She dressed simple. People called her classy. When my friends asked how I got her, I just smiled. Because the truth was, Ruby made me feel like I could finally stop looking over my shoulder. Until last week. Last week, my friend Thomas Vale came to my office in Ikoyi without calling first. Thomas Vale is my lawyer and my childhood friend. He is the kind of man who checks every door twice before he sleeps. He trusts no one fully, not even himself. That day, Thomas did not sit down right away. He stood by my desk, looking at me like he wanted to ask something, but feared my answer. "What is it?" I asked. He placed a brown file on my table. "I ran routine checks," he said. "Nothing serious, just the usual background updates." I frowned. "On who?" Thomas swallowed. "On Ruby." I leaned back. "Why would you run checks on my wife?" Thomas looked away for 1 second. Then he faced me again. "Because there are gaps," he said. "Gaps?" "Yes," he said. "Places where her story should have details, but it goes quiet." I felt a flash of anger. My wife is not a criminal. Thomas raised both hands slightly. "I'm not saying she is. I'm saying something is missing." I pushed the file back. "I'm not reading that." Thomas sighed. "Gray, what you asked me years ago to protect you from surprises. This is a surprise." I stood up. "Enough." Thomas nodded slowly like he expected that reaction. "Okay," he said, "but please do not travel with her yet." I laughed. "Travel?" Thomas stared at me. "You told me you planned a vacation." I paused. I had not told Thomas about the vacation. Not even my staff knew. Only Ruby knew. "Who told you?" I asked. Thomas shook his head. "It's not about who told me. It's about what I found." "Which is?" I asked, forcing calm. Thomas tapped the file. "Her name, Gray. Her name does not match." My stomach tightened. Thomas continued. "The Ruby Esther you married might not be the Ruby Esther you think you married." I wanted to shout at him, but something in his face stopped me. Thomas was not enjoying this. He looked worried, like a man watching a car drive toward a wall. I lowered my voice. "What exactly are you saying?" Thomas spoke carefully. "I'm saying you should ask her some questions." "Like what?" "Like where she lived before London," Thomas said. "Like why her old school records are hard to find. Like why her passport history is strange." I stared at him. Ruby told me she studied in London. She told me she worked in charity work. She told me her father died early. She told me her mother lived abroad. I believed her. Thomas added, "One more thing." "What?" I asked. He looked down. "Her old phone number, the one linked to her past, it was saved under a name." I frowned. "Whose name?" Thomas's eyes lifted to mine. "George," he said. My chest tightened so hard I felt pain. "What did you say?" I whispered. Thomas nodded once. "George." I stepped back like the name pushed me. George Thomas, my brother, the one who died 2 years into my marriage. My brother who fell from a balcony at my old Lecky house. The police called it an accident. My mother called it fate. The world moved on. But I never moved on, because George was not careless. And before he died, he told me one sentence I tried to forget. "Gray, watch your wife. She is not who she says she is." I remembered that sentence now, and my skin went cold. I grabbed Thomas's shirt collar without thinking. "Are you playing with me?" I asked. Thomas did not flinch. "Gray, I'm trying to save you." I released him, breathing hard. That night, I went home to Banana Island and watched Ruby as if I was seeing her for the first time. She was in the kitchen humming softly, slicing fruit for me. She turned and smiled. "You're home early," she said. "I missed you." I forced a smile. "I missed you too." She walked closer and adjusted my tie like she always did. "You look tired," she said. "This vacation will help you." Vacation. Yes, the vacation. She had pushed for it more than I did. "Let's leave Lagos for a few days," she said. "No phones, no meetings, just you and me." It sounded perfect, but now it sounded planned. I tried to test her. "Ruby," I asked casually, "what was the name of that street you said you grew up on?" She did not pause. "Garden Close," she said. I nodded slowly. "Garden Close, where?" "In Surulere," she replied, still smiling. Her answer was smooth, too smooth. Later that night, I checked her phone while she slept. Not to be wicked, just to quiet my mind. Her phone was locked. Ruby never locked her phone. And my heart thudded as I stared at the lock screen. When she woke up the next morning, she acted normal. She kissed my cheek. "Good morning, husband." And I decided to pretend everything was fine. Because if something was wrong, I needed to know the whole truth. So I agreed to travel. And that is how I ended up at the airport lounge, holding her passport, staring at my phone as it rang with the name of a dead man. Back in the lounge, Ruby touched my arm. "Gray," she said again, softer this time. "Who is calling you?" I looked at her. The voice on the line had said, "Do not get on that jet. Not with her." And now Ruby's fingers tightened around my wrist. Just a little. Not loving, not gentle, like a warning. I swallowed hard and spoke into the phone. "Who are you?" I asked. "How do you know my name?" The voice replied. Oh, calm and cruel. "Ask your wife what she did on the day George died. Ask her why your vacation ticket was booked under a different name." My eyes snapped to Ruby. Her face changed, just for a moment. The smile slipped, and in that tiny moment, I saw something I had never seen before. Fear. Then Ruby smiled again, wider, like she wanted to cover it. "Gray," she said, "who are you talking to?" The staff walked toward us. "Sir, madam, it's time. The jet is ready." Ruby reached for my hand and pulled gently. "Come," she said, "let's go." But my phone was still pressed to my ear, and the voice said one last thing that made my blood turn cold. "Gray, your wife is not traveling with you for love. She is traveling with you to finish what she started." Ruby's nails dug into my skin, and I realized something terrible. She was not asking me to come, and she was making sure I did. Ruby's fingers were still tight around my hand when I slowly pulled away. "Wait," I said. The airport staff paused. Ruby turned to me, her smile soft, her eyes sharp. "What is it, Gray?" she asked. I forced a calm breath. "I just need 1 minute." "1 minute?" she said lightly. "The jet is ready." "I know," I said. "Just 1 minute." I stepped a few steps away from her, keeping my eyes on her the whole time. My phone was still in my hand. The call had ended, but my heart was still beating like it was running. Thomas's words came back to me. Her name does not match. Ask her some questions. I looked at Ruby. She stood straight, her bag over her shoulder, looking like a perfect wife ready for a perfect trip. But something had shifted. She was watching me now, not smiling. I walked back to her. "Hi, Ruby," I said softly. "Tell me something." She relaxed a little. "What is it, love? Where were you on the day George died?" Her eyes blinked. Just once. Then she smiled again. "Gray, why would you bring that up now?" "I just want to know," I said. She laughed lightly. "You know I was at the charity office. I told you that." I nodded. "Which one?" "The one in Yaba," she said. "What street?" She paused. Only for a second. But in that second, I felt the truth pull away. "I don't remember the street name," she said quickly. "Gray, why are you asking all this?" I took a slow breath. "Because someone just called me. Someone who knows things." Ruby's face tightened. "What things?" I lowered my voice. "They said your name is not Ruby Esther." For the first time since I met her, Ruby did not speak right away. Her lips parted, and her eyes searched my face. Then she laughed. "This is a joke, right?" "Is it?" I asked. "Gray, come on," she said. "You know me. You married me." "Did I?" I asked. The word surprised even me. Ruby's smile faded. "What does that mean?" "It means," I said slowly, "that someone out there thinks you are hiding something." Ruby stepped closer. "Gray, you are tired. You are stressed. Let's go on this trip. We will talk about this later." I shook my head. "No, we will talk about it now." People were starting to look at us. The staff stood awkwardly nearby. Ruby lowered her voice. "You are making a scene." "Then tell me the truth," I said. She stared at me. "What truth?" I swallowed. "Did you know my brother?" Her eyes widened. "Did you ever meet George?" I asked again. Ruby took a slow breath. "Kana Gray, why are you doing this?" "Answer me," I said. She looked around, then back at me. Her voice dropped. "Yes," she said. My heart sank. "You did," I whispered. "Yes," she said. "I met him once." "When?" I asked. "Before he died," she replied. My chest felt tight. "Why didn't you tell me?" "I didn't think it mattered," she said. "Everything about George matters," I said. Ruby sighed. "He came to see me." "Why?" I asked. She hesitated. "He wanted to talk about you." "About what?" I asked. "He said you were not safe," she said. I stared at her. "What does that mean?" "He said people wanted to use you," she replied. "He said you trusted too easily." "And you?" I asked. "What did you say?" "I told him he was wrong," she said. "I told him I loved you." I laughed bitterly. "Did you?" "Yes," she said quickly. I still do." My phone vibrated in my hand, a new message. Unknown number. I opened it, asked her about the balcony. My breath caught. "The balcony," I said out loud. Ruby froze. "The night George fell," I said. "What were you doing on that balcony, Ruby?" Her eyes darted away. "I wasn't there," she said. "Then why does someone say you were?" I asked. "I don't know," she snapped. Her calm was gone now. I took a step back. "Were you with him?" "No," she said. "Did you push him?" I asked. Her mouth fell open. "How dare you?" "Did you?" I repeated. Her hands were shaking now. "Gray," she said softly, "you are letting someone play with your mind." My phone buzzed again. Another message. She was the last person with him. I showed Ruby the screen. Her face went pale. "Who is sending you this?" she asked. "I don't know," I said. "Nah, but they know too much." The staff walked over. "Sir, madam, we really need to go now." Ruby turned to them. "Please give us a minute." Then she faced me again. "Gray," she said, almost pleading, "we cannot talk about this here." "Then where?" I asked. "On the plane," she said. "Just us." I shook my head. "No more running." She took my hand again. "Please." Her touch felt different now, like a grip, not love. Fear moved through me. "Tell me the truth," I said. "Did you have anything to do with my brother's death?" Ruby's lips trembled, and for the first time she did not answer. My phone rang again. I answered it without looking. The voice said cold and clear, "Gray, if she gets on that jet with you, you will never see Lagos again." Ruby pulled me closer, her voice sharp. Hang up, she said. Now! And in her eyes I saw it. Not love. Not fear. Control. My heart was beating so loud I could barely hear the voice on the phone anymore. Ruby's hand was still gripping my arm. Not in love, but like someone holding something that might escape. Gray, hang up, she said again. You don't know who that is. But I did know one thing. The person on that line knew things only someone close to George would know. I need answers, I said quietly. Ruby's face tightened. You are getting answers. From me, not from a stranger. The voice on the phone spoke again. Gray, look at her eyes. You will see it. I did. Ruby's eyes were not soft. They were sharp, watching, waiting. Ruby, I said slowly, did you ever love my brother? She stared at me. What kind of question is that? Answer it. She took a breath. He meant nothing to me. Then why did he save your number? I asked. And why was your old line under his name? She looked away. The staff nearby pretended not to listen, but they were watching us now. Gray, this is not the place, Ruby whispered. People are staring. I don't care, I said. The voice on the phone said, ask her why she changed her name. Ruby's head snapped up. Whoever that is, they are lying. I raised the phone. Then prove it. What was your name before Ruby Esther? She opened her mouth, closed it, then laughed, too loud. Gray, you are tired, that is all. No, I said. You are scared. Her smile faded. I took another step back. Tell me. Her voice dropped. Why does it matter? Because my brother is dead, I said. And you were the last person he saw? Silence stretched between us. Then Ruby spoke, slow and careful. My name was Ruby Grayson. My stomach twisted. That is not the same I want, I said. She nodded. I changed it when I married you. Why? I asked. Because my past is ugly, she said, and I wanted a new life. Was George part of that past? I asked, her eyes filled with something that looked like anger. He should have stayed out of it, she said. My breath caught. What do you mean? I asked. He kept digging, she said. He kept asking questions. About what? I asked. About me, she said. About who I was before I met you. And what was wrong with who you were? I asked. She laughed, dry and bitter. You wouldn't have married me if you knew. The voice on the phone spoke again. Gray, she was not alone that night. I swallowed hard. Who was with you, Ruby? Her eyes flicked to the exit door. No answer. Who? I repeated. Her voice shook. It doesn't matter. It matters to me, I said. She took a sharp breath. There was someone else. My heart sank. Who? Thomas, she whispered. My friend. My lawyer. Thomas Vale. I felt dizzy. You are lying, I said. She shook her head. He was there. Why would Thomas be with George? I asked. Because George called him, she said. George found something. Something about me. The world felt like it was tilting. What did he find? I asked. Ruby stared at me. That I was not who you thought I was. The voice on the phone said, Gray, Thomas is not your friend? I felt sick. You are saying my wife and my lawyer were both with my brother on the night he died? I asked. Ruby nodded. And then he fell? I asked. She said nothing. My phone buzzed. A photo came through. It was blurry, but I knew the place. My old Lecky house. The balcony, and two shadows standing close. One was George, the other was Ruby. I felt my legs weaken. You were there, I whispered. Ruby stepped closer. Gray, listen to me. You lied to me, I said. I did it to protect us, she said. Protect who? I asked. Me or you? She reached for my face. I pulled away. The staff stepped in. Sir, madam, we need a decision. I looked at Ruby, at the woman I married, at the woman in the photo. Did you push him? I asked softly. Her lips trembled, and she did not say no. My phone rang again. The voice said, Gray, she is not the only one you should fear. I stared at Ruby. Who else? I whispered. Ruby's eyes widened, and behind her, someone stepped into the lounge. Someone I trusted. Thomas, and he was smiling. Thomas walked toward us like nothing was wrong. He wore his neat gray suit, Oh, not the same one he always wore to court. His face was calm, almost kind. But after what I had just seen on my phone, his smile felt sharp. Gray, he said, opening his arms a little. You look stressed. Big day, huh? Ruby stepped slightly closer to him. Too close. My heart sank. Thomas, I said slowly, why are you here? He glanced at Ruby, then back at me. I came to see you off. You are my best client. Don't lie to me, I said. Why were you with my brother on the night he died? Thomas stopped walking. The lounge went quiet. People around us were pretending not to hear, but everyone was watching. Thomas sighed. Gray, you are letting fear talk. I raised my phone. I have a picture. You were there. Ruby turned away. Thomas looked at the screen, then back at me. Pictures lie. My brother is dead, I said. That does not lie. Ruby suddenly spoke. Gray, stop this. You don't know the full story. Then tell me, I said. All of it. Thomas stepped forward. This is not the place. It is the place, I said. It is right here, right now. Ruby looked at Thomas. He nodded. She took a deep breath. George was not meant to die, she said. My chest hurt. Then what happened? He found out who I was, she said. He found out about my past. What past, I asked. I was not always a charity worker, she said. I worked with people who used secrets to make money. I stared at her. What kind of people? She swallowed. People who watch rich men. People who learn their weak points. You spied on me? I asked. No, she said quickly. Not at first. Thomas cut in. Ruby was sent to study you, but she changed. Changed? I snapped. You expect me to believe that? She fell in love, Thomas said. That was not part of the plan. My head spun. What plan? I asked. Ruby's voice was small. To get close to you. To steal my money? I asked. To control you, she whispered. The room felt tight. And George? I asked. He found out, Thomas said. He followed Ruby. He listened. He learned. And you? I asked. I tried to stop him, Thomas said. I told him to let it go. Why? I asked. Because once people like Ruby's old group start something, they do not stop, Thomas said. They destroy everything in the way. Ruby nodded slowly. George wanted to tell you. So you killed him, I said. No, Ruby cried. It was an accident. Tell me, I said, my voice low. Tell me what happened on that balcony. Ruby's eyes filled with tears. George was angry, she said. He shouted. He said he would expose everything. And, I said, and he stepped too close to the edge, she said. We were arguing. Who touched him? I asked. No one answered. Thomas looked down. Ruby whispered, he lost his balance. You pushed him, I said. Her silence was loud. My phone rang again. I answered without looking. The voice said, Gray, Thomas is the one who planned it. I stared at Thomas. You planned my brother's death? I asked. Thomas shook his head. That voice is lying. The voice continued, Thomas wanted control of your companies. With George gone, there was no one to stop him. My chest burned. Is that true? I asked Thomas. Thomas laughed nervously. Gray, think. Why would I do that? Because you handle my money, I said. Because you know everything. Ruby stepped back from him. Thomas? She whispered. Thomas' face hardened. Ruby, you talk too much. The staff started to move closer. Sir, we have to ask you to keep your voices down. I stepped between Ruby and Thomas. You used her, I said to Thomas. You used my wife. Thomas's eyes darkened. I used an opportunity. You killed my brother, I said. Thomas smiled slowly. No. I let him fall. Ruby gasped. You told me you loved him, she said. I told you what you needed to hear, Thomas said. Just like you told Gray what he needed to hear. Everything was breaking. My phone buzzed again. The voice said, Gray, look behind Thomas. I looked. Thomas's hand was inside his jacket, holding something. Not papers, not a phone. Something cold and dark. A weapon. And Thomas was pointing it at me. Gray, he said calmly, you are not getting on that jet. Thomas's hand was steady as he pulled the weapon out of his jacket. It was small but heavy, and it looked like it had been used before. "Gray," he said calmly, "you are not getting on that jet." Ruby screamed, "Thomas, stop!" People in the lounge began to move back. Some shouted, some pulled out their phones. The staff froze. My heart was beating so fast I could hear it in my ears. "Put it down," I said. Thomas smiled. "You see, Gray, you were never meant to know the truth. You were meant to travel, to disappear. That jet was not just for a holiday." "What do you mean?" I asked. He stepped closer. "Once you were gone, your companies would fall into confusion. I would step in. Everything you own would come to me." Ruby shook her head in fear. "You said this was not the plan." Thomas laughed. "The plan changed." My phone buzzed again. The voice said, "Gray, security is close. Keep him talking." I took a slow step back. "You think you can get away with this?" Thomas shrugged. "In Lagos, people disappear every day." Ruby cried, "Please, Thomas, don't do this." "Quiet," he snapped. That was when two airport security officers rushed in from the side. Someone must have called them. "Drop it," one of them shouted. Thomas turned fast, too fast. The weapon slipped from his hand and hit the floor. In seconds, he was on the ground, held down by the officers. Ruby collapsed into a chair, shaking. I stood there, unable to move. It was over, or so it felt. One officer turned to me. "Sir, are you okay?" I nodded slowly. Ruby looked up at me, her eyes full of tears. "Gray, I never meant for George to die." I looked at her, the woman I loved, the woman who lied, the woman who was part of something dark. "Ruby," I said quietly, "we will talk about how you and I treated each other some other time." She nodded, crying. Right now I had bigger things to face. My brother's truth, my wife's secrets, and a life that would never be the same again. The jet outside was still waiting, but the man who was meant to be on it was gone, and so was the man I used to be. Thanks for watching. What's your view about this story? Where are you watching from? Do well to let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting stories. Stay blessed.